apparently daylight saving times happened yesterday. That's crazy. I can't believe this is how I'm finding out about that. So the countdown started at 10 minutes. So between all these loading phases, probably like 15 minutes. Oh, really? Interesting. I had no idea that was the case. Okay. Ooh, the galaxy pattern looks pretty nice, actually. Wait, I can't believe they just didn't talk about this at all in developer live stream. Like, we just started talking about Act 3 stuff when this is apparently coming out right now. All right, I was severely under the weather when the Act 2 developer live stream first aired, but now that my throat isn't excising itself from the rest of my being, let's get right into it. All right, so it sounds like as the narrative architect, he's the one in charge of the overall larger picture of how we progress through Destiny's story, while the actual details are left up to the writers. That's what it sounds like. I didn't play Season of Witch, so I have no idea what the altars of summoning activity entailed, but I did play a decent amount of Breach Executable. I mean, it was an okay activity. The tuning of the activity for at least the final boss portion was definitely way out of scale, but there were like some random elements to it. It wasn't a bad activity, but I do think the battlegrounds that came after it were just superior. Okay, so this is the Twitter guy. Okay, I've seen his tweets here and there. All right, so I assume this is just the beginning part of the encounter where we're just running up to the location. Then it seems like before the encounter officially starts, we can choose an augmentation which modifies the run, it seems like. Okay, so the augmentations are apparently simple enough mechanically where one player could feasibly, complete the augmentation, but it also sounds like you could just ignore the augmentation. So I wonder if there's probably, some sort of reward incentive to, actually deal with the augmentation instead of just ignoring it. Or I guess it's just like a challenge modifier to like, you have to choose an augmentation in order to, modify your run. So it could just be like, oh, you either deal with the augmentation or you just deal with the encounter fast enough that you don't have to worry about the augmentation, which I guess, that might make sense. Remnant of Silver IO. That's I don't think that's in the Dreadnought. Okay, yeah. So it does sound like the augmentations are just there to make the encounter slightly, more annoying or just vary it up a little bit. And we've actually introduced the concept of armaments, which will actually help us deal with the augmentation. So that seems like an interesting system. Anyway, so here this specific augmentation requires the party to banish 3 casters, and upon banishing each caster, if you pay attention to the UI, it actually reads augmentation range charge +1. So it seems like for each of the casters that were banished, you gained a range charge, and that actually seems to manifest in the form of a buff. So here we see tier 1 reciprocal rune. And I think you get that for clearing the augmentation challenge. So that actually seems like it's gonna probably play a part. Yep, and on successfully completing that augmentation, we gained another +2 runes that seemingly increased or upgraded the buff to tier 2 stolen rune. Oh yeah, and here we see, depending on how many augmentations we cleared, and that's how many runes we obtain, that allows us to then purchase one of these augmentations. So we only have a tier 2 stolen rune, so the tier 3 Ascendant Slayer augmentation is, or armament is out of our reach. Weapons and abilities deal additional damage to bosses. That's pretty good. Tier 2, we're downgraded to Hive Sword. Look up Hive Sword Relic to use in battle. I mean, if it's going to be like a heavy weapon, and it's basically just like free heavy ammo as a sword, I mean, that's not too bad. The tier 1 Ritual of Greed, collect 3 pyramid shards without dying to receive a permanent increase in your energy regeneration rate. So, I mean, that's also okay, but it also requires us to do something in order to then receive the boon. So it does like seem to get worse, but we actually have so there's actually 2 tier 1s, 2 tier 2s, and then 2 tier 3s, I assume. This is how it's gonna be. Yeah, okay, so these ones not bad. I mean, create some ammo for Guardians. Was it tier 1? I believe it's that. Void Transmutation, defeating combatants with void damage provides a chance to transform them into transmutation spheres. Sure. I mean, that one you have to kill enemies, so it does seem like the tier 1s require you to complete, some sort of requirement in order to then activate them. I mean, even here for tier 2, you have to defeat a challenging combatant, but that's free ammo, so that's pretty good. And then tier 3 Vanguard turrets. So allied support turrets appear in all future encounters. I mean, yeah, that one seems pretty broken. So, and it doesn't even require, any cost from the player other than, the runes. Oh, and here's actually another tier 2 damaging dark execution, damaging bosses, or challenging commands, marks, and weakens them for all fire team members for a short duration. Honestly, these are some pretty not bad. These modifiers aren't too bad. I'm getting distracted over here because they're actually addressing the IO situation. Okay, apparently IO is trapped in the Ascendant plane. That's interesting. As I assume that because you're talking about it, it's probably going to play a much larger part in the story coming up here. Oh, no health scaling and Court of Blades. I wonder if that might turn into like an augmentation or something. Okay, interesting. Mechanic light, but through the armament systems, there might be similar mechanics that help deal with the augmentations. Okay, so we came back through the portal and the armaments here are the exact same. So it doesn't seem like they change. So if the countdown started at 10 minutes, so between all these loading phases, probably like 15 minutes. So 15 minutes for a Court of Blades encounter. It's not too bad. Like that's probably a bit faster than another. Also seemingly less stressful and more combat focused. And armaments here stay, so it gives you a good idea of what you might want to aim for in the future in this one. And you could choose your augmentations accordingly. Okay, so active weapons are more attuned to this new activity. I guess that makes sense.
The voice actor for Oryx is Joshua David King. They did a fantastic job.
True. Shout out Joshua David King. Good voice acting for sure. Oh, and some new runes for the Court of Blades activity, and just like the Nether to help slightly alleviate some of the more annoying aspects. To be honest, it's like the runes are okay. Like I do wish they were, you know, either stronger in their effect and had some sort of downside, as opposed to just being like these slight minor boosts. But that's whatever. Wow, that was really fast. I didn't even notice them changing people on the camera. That was incredibly smooth. Holy crap. Active weapons are pretty good. Pretty interesting. A lot of interesting stuff there. We're looking forward for that though. New glaze. Big fan of glaze. Plus mainly the rake angle. It's been really good. So having another glaive in the connect slot definitely sounds pretty good. Definitely looking forward for the new Void Bow, 100%. Sidearm, but I mean, maybe if I play more PvP, this will matter, but I totally agree. The design of these weapons are it's just so good. It really is peak.
The glow actually gets a little bit brighter as you stack up the origin trait, which is fun.
Oh, that's cool. Super cool, actually.
Oh, really? Interesting. I had no idea that was the case. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to pay attention to that. All right, so we get one for all and target lock as 2 of the catalyst perks for the Bearer Dyad. Interesting that we still have to wait until Act 3 for the last 2. 3 Trace Rifle perks. Okay. Trace Rifle fans are winning big right now, for sure. Limit Break, casting a super while you are critically wounded or have an elemental buff. Matching your super element grants a period of increased super damage. Okay, so this is just free super damage. Elemental Siphon, rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon or a weapon matching your equipped super. Create the elemental pickup that matches your equipped super. Oh, buddy, even more ionic traces. Wow, I totally needed more of those. Yeah, the geomags, highlighting those. That's kind of literally exactly what I was thinking about since those are what I was using. I think this sounds like it's continuation of Act 3, but it sounds like in Act 3, they're going to do a refresh of the Court of Blades and another, which makes more sense for that being the Act 3 activity switch up. I assume we're also probably going to get a exotic mission in line with the last 2 acts, but we did get derealized for the Bearer Dyad, so I don't know if it's going to be a modification on that quest or what's going to happen there. Oh, okay, so they're adding a new modified version of the Sunless Cell Strike as the active activity. Okay, interesting. We're going to find out who is now in the Sunless Cell. I would assume no one, but apparently someone was either captured or maybe it might be the Dread from earlier. March 11th. Okay, Act 2. So Guardian Games is happening tomorrow. Wow, starting tomorrow. That's crazy. I think if the jerseys were more class aligned rather than being generic, I'd be a little bit more interested, but I mean, they sure does exist. Oh, they swap people again. You know, I think I did actually hear the scuffling around this time, but I don't think I registered that. Oh, so we're moving on fully Act 3. Okay, so she just listed off doing like 10 different things. So, producer amendment. Okay, he's a weapon lead. That was incredibly vague, but sure. Rite of the Nine, new event. I wonder if this is what the curios that we've been collecting are for. I mean, they're associated with the 9. They're curios of the 9, so probably makes sense that they interact with Rite of the 9. I do like the font styling here. Prophecy goaded. I've not done those 2 dungeons quite yet, so definitely got to get on that before this event comes out. Oh yeah, I mean, sounds interesting. Good use of, old content. You're revitalizing it. They did say this is also free to play, so that's actually pretty interesting as well. But I definitely do think it's a good idea that they're going in, refreshing some of the dungeons, changing stuff up. I wonder what, because something like Shattered Throne, if you switch things up, you modified some encounters or whatever, just create a new Grandmaster Shattered Throne, that'd be pretty cool. Okay, interesting. Hard mode and easy mode. I mean, that's good. That makes sense because you can introduce the dungeon to people who haven't done them yet, and to people who have already cleared them multiple times. A hard mode allows them to replay the dungeon. Honestly, that's pretty smart. I mean, this is quite a lot though. That's definitely not a small amount of effort. It's a new social space that has not been available to us since year 1. It's crazy. Not sure if that's year 1 of Destiny or year 1 of Destiny 2. I assume probably year 1 of Destiny 2, but the way they've combined the years into it being one continuous section, continuous production of Destiny is kind of confusing, but sure. Oh, so Spiral Watcher is actually okay, so that means this social space probably existed first, and the Spiral Watcher existed, and then they made that into a dungeon. Not gonna lie, the emissary just floating there looked so completely out of place. I mean, this entire location looks completely surreal, but I'm not gonna lie, the model for the emissary just looks like it belongs to a different game. That looks like a glaive, so that might be interesting. No bow. It looks like that there is no bow. Unfortunate.
For folks like myself who do really enjoy running dungeons, and I've only soloed 1 dungeon, but if I wanted to go ahead and really get all of my strats ready,
have I soloed more dungeons than he has? That's crazy. Gravity Well origin trait. Reloading this weapon automatically gathers nearby ammo. Oh, okay. I mean, that's it's actually not too bad, huh? Interesting. Ooh, the galaxy pattern looks pretty nice actually. I did notice this when they were showing it in previously before in the Court of Blades activity, but it's actually crazy that these actually have not existed until fairly recently. The tooltips that explain the mechanic, it's really, this is a good idea to implement, and I wonder if it's going to be included in dungeons. I mean, I guess the whole point of contest mode dungeon especially is trying to figure out the mechanics. So I guess having the tooltips in that instance would probably not be the greatest because you're kind of diminishing the experience of figuring out the mechanics yourself. But I guess if you're if you don't care about trying to do the entire experience blind, then this is definitely a pretty good exploratory option for newer players to get into the whole idea of doing mechanics in the first place. Not gonna lie, that emblem looks kind of sick. Just one more thing. Big fan of, whenever announcements do, the one more thing. Limited time PvP mode.
To heavy metal. Heavy metal is a opportunity for you to go ahead and check out a team of Drake tanks.
Wait a second.
So you can test to see, whether you're good behind the barrel of a gun or behind the barrel of a brig. But this is one that just the playtests, have just been absolutely insane to watch.
Maybe I am interested actually. Okay. Now we need a ranked mode for this for sure. Dude, imagine if we could get into a brig versus the witness or something. That'd be so fun. We call down a brig and just hop into it while we're fighting the witness. That'd be pretty funny. There actually was quite a bit. Wow, and onto the This Week in Destiny newsletter. Thank you for watching. On Tuesday, we gave you a preview of everything coming with Heresy Act 2. From the new activity to the new weapons, we also gave you a look at what we're cooking up for Act 3. If you missed the announcement, blah, 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 yep, that's what we just watched. And I assume we're just going to recap some of what happened in the livestream. Court of Blades activity. The Echo of the Navigator was certainly impressed when he found out you defeated him. So he wants to test you in the Court of Blades. The new activity coming with Heresy Act 2. Players will fight through arenas of enemies with escalating difficulty to compete for the mantle of the Taken King, using runes to uplift their playstyle and push through challenges. Pretty neat screenshot. Might just steal this picture, use it for a thumbnail here or there. All right, here are the new weapons. I mean, they look really good. Not gonna lie, they look sick. New artifact perks. I mean, like I said, Trace Rifle fans winning majorly with this one. All right, so Rite of 9, Sunless Cell, Reprise, and Heavy Metal Game Mode are all coming out in Act 3. So specifically for me, I completed Prophecy and on my way of finishing Duality, so that should be done. So Spiral Watcher and Ghost of the Deep, I just got to make sure I get those done during Act 2. So wow, I got a pretty action-packed Act 2, especially since Guardian games are up here. New game mode, Rushdown. It's that time of the year again. Time to bank some medallions, earn some good rewards, and show everyone which class is the best. Guardian Games is back, and while everyone knows their class is the best, this is your chance to prove it. Introducing Rushdown. Rushdown is a boss rush style activity where you'll battle a series of bosses taken from Destiny 2's campaigns, seasonal story missions, and exotic missions. Okay, interesting. With each boss encounter defeated, combines in the activity increase in difficulty. With 5 total encounters per run, you'll have a time limit to complete the run, with time added for each successful encounter completion. Completing encounters in a run will earn your rewards, with faster times offering a chance for more drops or higher quality loot. Okay, honestly, that sounds crazy. Wait, I can't believe they just didn't talk about this at all in the developer live stream. Like, we just started talking about Act 3 stuff when this is apparently coming out right now in Act 2, that's actually insane. Holy, oh my God. You'll have 3 ways to play Rushdown. You can start with the warm-up mode, which will be your entry point for the activity, standard and expert, then ramp up the difficulty, offering more powerful commands with modifiers and adding revive tokens to the mix. Each mode will offer options for standard matchmaking, class-based matchmaking, and oh, wow, is that a minor typo and they didn't put a space after the and, separating and in Private Fireteam? Absolutely embarrassing. $2.6 billion company, absolute massive L, destroyed. As you work your way through Rushdown, your performance will determine the quality of your rewards. You will be judged on 2 criteria: bosses defeated and total score. You can increase your score by completing encounters quickly and earning bonus points for the extra time remaining. Limiting your use of revive tokens will also increase your score as you get a bonus for unused tokens. Okay, this sounds actually really good. Completing at least 3 encounters in any mode will guarantee a Guardian Games weapon drop for that run. Okay, so there is also a hard pity. With 5 score thresholds, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, reaching higher thresholds in standard and expert modes will improve your chance for additional perks on Guardian Game weapon drops for that run. High scores in expert mode will also offer the chance to earn fully masterworked Guardian Game weapons with additional perks. All right, so they're definitely leaning hard into the adept / additional perks, the multi-perk rolls. I assume this will also probably come with some sort of visual modifier. So definitely sounds like something I gotta grind for. Yeesh. Be proud of your class. While there is a lot to do during Guardian Games, the path to victory is simple. Team up with other members of your class to compete in PvP, complete activities, and earn precious medallions. Bank your medallions at the podium to earn points for your class. Each day, class scores will be measured by the average medallion score of all players who deposited a medallion that day, separated by class, of course. The class that has won the most days by the end of the event gets the gold, and more importantly, bragging rights. I assume that whatever the most popular class will just win. Depending on your contributions to Guardian Games All-Stars, you'll also earn glows to proudly wear. Okay, so that's what these little floatings around our shoulders are. These are linked to your personal and group achievements, and we have 4 in total. 1 for being the best in Tower Guardian. That's funny. You be the best in Tower Guardian, and you get to flex. Okay, epic, sure. Another for being a member of the winning class of the day. Oh, the participation award glow, sure. Okay, okay, sure. A shoulder glow linked to your weekly performance in Rushdown. A second shoulder glow for your weekly performance in Supremacy and Gimmet, and a bronze, silver, or gold glow with the shape of a laurel crown, depending on your class place in the Friday coronation ceremony. I assume that these will probably only last for as long as Guardian Games do, but it's interesting that they've introduced a new visual modifier, so I wouldn't be surprised if this gets used somewhere else in the game, maybe for a mechanic or... a mechanic is obviously what I would want to see it used for. So that'd be interesting. Let's take a look at the Guardian Game outfits here. Honestly, the Titan chest piece looks pretty epic. It's a pretty decent helmet and hood. I also kind of dig the gloves with the whole kind of snake theme wrapped around here. It's kind of interesting. I don't think it fits with the rest of the outfit, but it is interesting. The robe for the Warlock looks decent. I don't really dig the random blue lightning streak just in the middle of it. I would prefer if this was just the white and it contrasted against, know, the more golden foily portion of the robe. But I mean, depending on how, you know, you can shade this, and if that changes the color of the blue, it might look a little bit better depending on, you know, how it's styled. The gloves are also pretty decent. Here's the Guardian Games emblem. Looks okay, I guess. Act 2 Crucible Strike Team updates. PvP Omega Lol. I'm sorry that happened to you, or I'm extremely glad for the situation you're going through. And here is the Moments of Triumph emblem. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this emblem looks sick. Like, this is actually a clean ass emblem. Like, yeesh. Like, it's a good looking emblem, not gonna lie. D2 fashion feedback, one more armor ornament preview. As Codename Frontiers gets closer, we're starting to get hyped about all the fashion that's just around the corner. Once again, we're tipping our hand a little shot of an ornament for another exotic armor in desperate need of a glow up. The next exotic armor getting its first ever ornament is none other than the most beloved and often strongest exotic arms for Titans. Yeah, you guessed it correctly, it's Worm God Caress. Do you see the Warrior Monk inspiration? Very fitting for an exotic that relies so much on punching enemies non-stop. Is this a double space? Yeah, it is. Another typo. Omega Lol destroyed. Get 'em. See below how cool the ornament Titans are getting in Codename Frontiers looks. This actually does look really good, and the beads here definitely help sell the look, the wrap bandage. This is definitely a good looking glove ornament for sure. Daylight saving time changes as we enter daylight saving time starting March 9th. Wait, apparently daylight saving times happened yesterday. That's crazy. I can't believe this is how I'm finding out about that. That's wow, it's crazy. Known issues list. When speaking to a vendor, you can hear their ambient dialogue. I actually encountered this with Ikora once. She said something like, "We're keeping an eye on you for deviating from the Vanguard" or something. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense in relation to any of the story events that have happened, but sure. Ionic Sentry sometimes doesn't chain lightning enemies. It's supposed to. Okay, that sucks. But apparently, that's going to be a buffed Ionic Sentry, like it needed one. Sure. Step 6 and 9 of the Drowning Labyrinth quest aren't able to be completed by some players. Oh, that's for Cinder Doctrine. I have not gotten there yet. Due to this quest being a fix between character skipped and counted, blah blah blah. Okay, but I mean, that doesn't relate to me. So, extra charges from Radiant Dance Machines do not persist when transitioning to a new area. Sure. A Triumph in Guardian Rank 10 does not unlock when completing a Grandmaster Nightfall. I mean, that sounds annoying for sure, I guess, if you care. Iron Banner's weekly challenges are reference stasis, but it should be Strand. That's really funny. How does that one get messed up? That's pretty funny though. Completely wrong element. Sometimes in the derealized exotic mission, the taken relic can drop below the surface during the Versic encounter. Oh, like you can just fall through the floor and then it doesn't despawn, and then you have to restart it. That's pretty funny. When damaging Shrieker bosses in the Cinder Doctrine dungeon, players receive critical damage feedback, but damage is actually regular base. How does that happen? So it's like flagged as like critical damage, and then it gets shown visually, but the critical damage multiplier doesn't exist, so it's just the same damage. So it's not actually critical damage. So I guess that would, yeah. I mean that sounds really annoying. When tracking a Ikora's Drowning Labyrinth quest, completion of certain steps may stop progress on the next steps. Okay, cool. The quest is just bugged. Cool. Sometimes the Tomb of Want perma quest does not progress after remaining steps 3 and step 4. Sure sounds annoying. Memento shaders can be previewed on armor in the armor management screen. This is not intended. Mementos aren't being considered for use on armor. Correct. This might have something to do with the shoulder pad icons being a thing now. The final shapes artist of the week after a few weeks obsessed with our adored artist. It's interesting topics and try to restore our sanity after, well, how about this cuteness? And no pain because you've not fed it in 2 minutes. We are going to act super cute. Wow. The final cat. Crazy. Vow of the meme. Poor guy who was blah, blah, blah. Rolk. Sure. This is a Vow of the Staple in a nutshell meme edition. I haven't completed the raid, so I can't watch this because that's spoilers. But Act 2 is tomorrow. That's crazy.